Welcome back, Washington Commander fans. Reedie here from Reedie and Z. We're going to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it, man. We got to get it off our chest. But joining us today is Darian D.H. Williams, co-host of the Afternoon Kick with Rio Robinson. We got a lot to talk about, like I said today, about the crushing defeat to those Philadelphia Eagles up at the Link yesterday. But you know what? We're going to get through it, people, man. Just hang in there with us. But Reedie and Z starts now. Top of the afternoon, people in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We are here. The nightmare the next day after. We just got our ass whooped up at the Link. They was popping their shit. They was real aggressive. They was crazy. They was doing this. They was doing that, man. Z, my man DH, man, what y'all got, man?
Man. Like I said, I mean, it definitely was a tough L, for sure. Especially, being in the Link and witness it, in hand and all the atmosphere and all the, those bluffing ass fans, like is what I'm calling them from now on. But overall, man, I mean, it is what it is. We got to reset and regroup. My message to the Commanders Nation is hold your head high, man. We had a hell of a season. Definitely no more victories. They whooped our ass. They were the better team. It is what it is. But, we'll be back straight like that.
I love it, man. I love it. You know what? It's funny, man, because, after we lost yesterday, I'm a huge music head, right? So after we lost yesterday, I just was thinking of every song. It was, how do I say goodbye? Like, bro, I was literally over here like, to we have. I was like, Slim, why does it have to end?
Yeah.
Now we don't play football again to 8 months, another 8 months, bro, and it's sickening. But one thing I will say, man, if there's ever a silver lining, and there never is any silver linings in losing, but the silver lining is that we have the quarterback of the future, we have a head coach, we have a front office. This is the first year in a long time where none of that is a question going into the offseason. All that's already done. Mm-hmm. Now you can really just truly build and get your team better and get you back. And then also with that, man, the fans are back too, man. Like, coming next year, bro, it's going to be a lot of anticipation, a lot of expectations on this ball club. But we're going to all be on one accord and go for that run again, baby. So while I'm sad, I am glad because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Come on, somebody.
No question.
Amen, brother. Amen. But I'm gonna take a different. Y'all know Reedie, man. I'm always the different guy that's gonna take a different stance on this. I am hurt. I said last night on the Instagram, respect my privacy in this time of bereavement that I am going through right now. I am truly hurt. I just knew we was gonna get in that Super Bowl and shock the world. I had all my content lined up, what I was going to post or what I was going to say when we got him out of there. But from start to finish, fucking abysmal. Abysmal. That is the word of the day, abysmal. Tough. 55-23. I think the turning point in the game was when we were down 11. We had a chance to score, to cut it to a 4-point game at that time in the game, at least get 3, maybe get 3 if we don't cut it to 4, at least get 3 and we score, make it an 8-point game. And that fumble right there just was the end of our season. If I'm just being honest. So Z, first, since you was in the building, like, walk me through the atmosphere before we get into the X's and O's of things, the atmosphere in the Lincoln, like what you was feeling. Cause I remember it was a time I tapped you and I had to like pinch myself. I'm like, bro, win, lose, or draw, like in the beginning of the game, bro, this is the NFC Championship. This is a beautiful sight these eyes have never seen before. To take a line from the movie Rudy, where the father said, "This is beautiful what these eyes have seen," his first time in South Bend at Notre Dame Stadium. So I'm gonna steal that from him. But I just was sitting around like just looking at the atmosphere, just like looking at the fans, and through it all of their bullshit, all of their antics and all of that, it's just like, damn, like this shit is lit, bro. Like taking myself from being a fan of the Commanders just to being a football fan, just looking around, taking in that atmosphere, just was like, damn, amazing. So walk me through what was going through your mind in that moment.
Yeah, in that specific moment, I pretty much where you were. I was observing the atmosphere, seeing all the many fans, the green, the 95% green. They talked about 20% people, or the ticket sales was from DC, Maryland, or however they wanted to put it. Like all of them would be Commanders fans or not, but it was just, we was there, but it was very little. They dominated that atmosphere, as they should have, though. That's their home. The white towels just twirling, like the music, everything, and just seeing all the coverage, the NFL, just the celebrity, everything, just sitting there and just like you said, just kind of taking it all in. Like, damn, this is the NFC Championship. Like, this is a dope experience at the end of the day. And then you looked at me and you said, never forget this experience. And that's what it was all about for me. Sadly, that experience came with a 55 burger. And I definitely wanted that experience to be us, running down to the lower level and, rooting our team on. But overall, it definitely was a great experience. I don't take it for granted. It's, it's what I look for. This is why we always say it's nothing like being in the building. And it's not against, that's for us and our preference. We watching it at home and everything is great for too. But, being season ticket holders, it's like when the road games come, we want to be there as well, because we just have an itch for that atmosphere, and nothing beats an experience. So it was a dope experience. And the fans too, and I'm going to say this now, and I want to say Commanders Nation, like, we got to get out of this mindset that we can't go into the link. It's I hate it. They be bluffing, man. They ain't really on nothing. They talk their trash. You gonna have a few that that may say F you here and try to fake like they own something. But if you look at them and you give them that look, or you get serious, a lot of them back down. And to be honest, I don't know if it's my stature or what, but I don't even have to do all that. I look at them and tell them, man, y'all bluffing. It is what it is. We gonna whoop y'all ass. It's cool. It's nothing. Y'all talk shit, we talk shit. But it's a great amount of them that really don't be on it. So it's just this image that they're just riding, and they want to ride it because they don't want you coming in their stadium. So if we focus on that and go root for our team, like, we'll be all right. Get out of your head that we can't go to the link. It's not what what they portray it to be, and for us to be scared.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that's what I gotta say.
That's a fact. I don't know if it's because I'm with Z and that nigga like 7 feet tall and all of that or not, but niggas say little shit like that, and then I'm too aggressive sometimes. Y'all know from the show I get emotional.
You the high head. You the high head.
I'm the high head. He the calm in the storm. I'm the high head.
Yeah, I keep everything calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reedie Marshawn Lattimore, huh?
Facts. Still Reedie, but live in the county now.
Yeah, fact.
I think I'm still back on the south side somewhere, but I gotta let that go now. But I look at it like, bro, I'm not one of them. Like, you could pop your shit, but like, you ain't about to put your finger in my face and be all aggressive, like, because I'm not going like that. And they be like, oh yeah, you right, brother, you right.
Keep it respectful, yeah. Like, you can, like I said, respect my space. You for your team, do what you do, but
exactly,
just keep it respectful. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I feel like they know who to go at. Like, the video that was surfacing online this morning of the guy with the Commanders gear walking out of the stadium, the white guy, and they took his hat or whatever. Like, they do that shit to people that look like they don't want no smoke. That's what I feel. But then it's also, like Z said, the people in there, they're just like, that's why we get a bad name now. Like, and then they would say all the time, it's not all of us. It's not all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, my good buddy, he's a diehard Eagles fan. He tells me all the time, it's the young kids. And that's what I'm starting to see. It's the younger crowd, like, because they know ain't nobody gonna smack the shit out of them because they're a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of like a try to say little shit here and there. I think we posted something on the page and you seen it was like all like teenage kids or had to be like at least maybe 20 years old or whatever. But ain't nobody else really like going at you like that or trying to go smack or whatever. But yeah, man, tough loss. So DH, tell us how did you watch the game yesterday?
Man, look, I'm a superstitious guy. I have been on my couch, row 1, seat 1, all season, bro. People would hit me up. Hey D, what you doing for the game, bro? I'm at home. Like I sent a picture of LL Cool J and when they're on the show In the House. They be like, "What you doing?" I'm in the house. Like I ain't going nowhere, bro. I'm watching. I'm watching at the crib. So just like the past few weeks, man, I was sitting right here on the couch. You know what I'm saying? I had my daughter with me, who's 4 years old, and was fully prepared. It was saying Super Bowl all weekend, bro. Like I was like, yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? My wife came down and watched it with me a little bit, and she thinks she bad luck sometimes. So every time something bad happens, she get up and leave. I be like, girl, if you don't just sit down and watch the game. But I sat and watched it, man, and it just I really don't like to be anywhere else other than the crib or unless I'm at the game because and this probably come from coaching too, bro. I don't sit still. I'm nervous. I'm up walking around. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm stretching, like I'm doing all types of stuff. Like I can't sit still, bro. And that come from years of angst watching us play. So man, I was just up here just chilling and watching the game, and it just I felt it like it just wasn't happening, bro. Like the normal way we had been playing previously, it just stuff just wasn't happening. And Philly was scoring so quick. And I was just like, I felt early. I was like, man, it just might not be our day, dog. It might not be our day. I mean, I was still hopeful. I was still responding to text messages. We gonna win this game because what I look like, you know what I'm saying? But I was still like, you know what I'm saying? I was hopeful, but it was just tough, man. It was tough to watch, man. And I think what you saw yesterday is that Philly they clearly have a better roster than ours in those situations. And the one thing that we've been able to do is win in spite of, right? You've been able to win in spite of the way that you've won. You've been able to overcome some hurdles, you know, even with a bad roster, not bad roster, but an average roster. So to be able to do that in spite of and still get to this point is great. But the one thing about this organization is that, I mean, this roster is still going to have a mass overhaul. Like it was last year, it's going to be a whole mass overhaul of guys that can play and guys that they're going to get in here to fit their culture. So while there are some fan favorites already, they might not even be here next year. But it was tough to watch, man. It's just tough to watch to see the boat sink, bro. And it's like, especially after that boat been sailing, you know, good, and it was nice and it was pretty. It was sunny skies. It was, you know, daiquiris and margaritas and everything was good and chilling. And now it's like, bro, somebody serve you a beer in a dirty glass, bro. They're like, drink this, drink this ale. But it was tough, man. It's tough to watch, but it's a part of the game, bro. Like it's only one team will be successful in the year. They're gonna be 31 other sad fan bases every football season. It's just time for us to get in line for ours. But I'm a firm believer that one day we will be that fan base that will succeed over the other 31 other teams.
Sadly, we was the 29th.
Exactly.
Fucked up our draft. This fucking run, but I'm here for it. I'd rather take that because it seems like those teams that pick at the back end of the draft always seem to find diamond in the rough somewhere, and I man around like, damn. I tell Z all the time, like, damn, Z, we couldn't get him. Like, what? What are they doing?
Like the Chiefs get worthy at the end of the something like that.
Like at the end of that, the 31st pick, like craziness. But and then the last on the being in the stadium, the whole game I kind of knew the writing was on the wall in the first quarter when the first play of the game, Saquon breaks it. He basically treated Jeremy Chin like a little boy on the sideline,
and Martin.
It's the angle, Anquan Martin, and just gets in the house. I'm just like, oh my god, here we go.
It was too easy, bro. Like it was too easy, and that set the tone early, man.
Facts. I'm sitting there just like, oh, here we go with this shit right here. And then it creep up in my mind like, damn, Reedie, they might get you. And then I'm sitting there, I'm mad at everybody fucking that I'm with. It was 4 of us that went. we paid full racks for these fucking seats that we were in, and if I'm just being honest, I was low-key mad. Like, we was in the first row of the 200 section. I mean, and that was the cheapest ticket. And I was telling Z, I said, bro, I'm not going in row 15, row 20. I'm just not sitting back that far. So we probably could have got it a little bit cheaper, but it was crazy. And I was like, I had to be in the building. My wife was saying, like, babe, you got to be in the building. This is like a once in your lifetime opportunity, maybe, because you don't know if they're going to get back. And in your lifetime, I was 5 when they won the Super Bowl last. So I don't know if this is going to come back up. Yeah, it looks like it is, but who knows? We never know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. You just an injury away or whatever away from not being relevant in this league. So I was like, it's a good opportunity. I wasn't trying to hear that, oh, we playing with house money. Like, let's just go win this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But it happened the way it happened. But like, what are some of your thoughts, Z? You want to start with the defense or the offense first?
We can start with the defense. My thoughts definitely after, well, we had the first drive. We wasn't able to score on that drive. Defense came out. Well, we got a field goal, and defense comes out, and first play, Saquon sweep left, and I'm looking like, yo, where is everybody at? Like, from where we sitting, you can just see the gap. Just, it's like the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 10. All those gaps was just open, and I'm like, what the fuck? So he hit the sideline, and then he spins out of them tackles, and I'm like, all right, he gone. All right, cool. We gonna rebound. You know what I mean? And it's just we never. It's like from that play on, we never was able to kind of mentally regroup. The offense didn't really help with the turnovers. I felt like, all year we kept saying, the offense is going to continue to help the defense by scoring points. And, shout out to Philly defense for making those stops and creating those turnovers, because it kept putting our defense into tough situations. But also, they should have been able to step up and, hold them to some field goals. But that wasn't the case. It was short yardage and things like that. But as a defense, it's still your job to get the ball back or, minimize the points. And they wasn't able to do that. I think from, the run game perspective, like, it showed why we were the 29th or 30th ranked team against the run. Guys just being mauled out the way. It looked like, our linebackers were struggling against the run. It's like everybody's just getting soaked up into blocks. Look, even Shipley came in on his first run and had a long run and then led them down the field at the end of the game to score. So it was like the run game was just ridiculous. Then, Hurts was still able, with this hobble knee that we talked about, he was still able to break a few runs. And, then against the pass, Joe Witt, leaving these guys in man-to-man situations. And, they was just taking advantage of it. Then we ran a lot of zone, but when they caught us in man in the one-on-one situations, they won. And I just felt like for a bit there, we was pretty passive sitting in those zones. I don't know if it was the fear or what, but it's just like the defense didn't really step up at all yesterday in a way where we needed to. They didn't, create any turnovers. Guys wasn't punching out the ball, nothing like that. So I don't even know if I saw maybe one loose ball all game, and then they end up recovering it or something like that. But other than that, man, it just, the defense let us down. It wasn't the complimentary football, but at the same time, the offense didn't help with putting them in the short field positions and situations. What you got? Darian?
Man, so with the defense, like you said, they wasn't playing complimentary football, but I think the overall scheme of yesterday was smart, right? They opened the game with an 18-yard drive, right? Keep Philly's defense on the field, watching it on TV. So you go from having a long time consuming drive and then one play and then you right back at it, right? So I feel like if you get 7 points out of that first drive, it might even be a little different. Granted, the game still turned out the way it did, but it might be a little different, the way that it's called going forward. To your point about the defense, right? The defense has been playing bend but don't break all year, right? But the same thing I've been saying on every program that I've been doing, bending might as well be broke because it's the same thing. If you're bending, you're not working your proper way that you're supposed to work, right? A bent iron pole is not is might as well be broke. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So they were bending, but not breaking, and teams were able to take full advantage and take full advantage of them in previous games. So they hadn't played it well, and look, I mean, it is what it is, man. The chickens come home to roost, bro. This was the game. You know what I mean? It could have been the previous week had Detroit stayed with Jamar Gibbs because we couldn't stop him either. But we got up on them, and then they had to throw the ball, and you had to rely on Jared Goff, and you know what happened after that. So I think Philly was smart by sticking with the run, knowing that Saquon is if not one of the best players on the field. You keep feeding him and keep letting him attack, which has been statistically one of the worst rush defenses this year, which I'm finding out now is a Dan Quinn trait, which he had a bad rush defense in Dallas as well. And he brought that with him. He brought the brotherhood, he brought the fire as a coach, but he also brought that bad run defense with him. So we're gonna have to definitely get that fixed in the offseason. But defense didn't play great ball. And we needed them to play, unbelievable to get that dub yesterday, if we could.
Yeah, and to add, with the one-on-one matches, Marshawn clearly allowed situations to, happen. And whether right or wrong, he clearly was letting things get into his head. And I'm sure that was by design on the Philly part.
Yeah.
Them guys, they play tough. They fight hard. The mentality that we talking about, how the fans are aggressive. That's how the team plays and their attitude as well. So I think we allowed them to get in our head, and it showed. On Marshawn end, Mikey didn't have a great game on his end as well, and it just looked bad. It really looked bad for sure.
On the defense for me, I refuse to go back and watch this tape, so I'm just going off the top of my dome from what I remember live, and I am a guy that I have to go back and rewatch so I can know exactly what my eyes saw. Like, my mind is telling me my eyes saw one thing, but I need to confirm that. But I'm not going to do that here. So I'm gonna just go up the top of my brain. So I may be wrong on some things that I'm about to say. So bear with me with that one. But Marshawn Lattimore, if you are in a cover 3 or man-to-man coverage, I don't know if it was, I couldn't tell if it was a cover 3 or if it was man-to-man coverage. And I'm going on the 4th and 5 up top to AJ Brown. How does he get? I get the concept that you're playing the slant because AJ Brown is known for slants, and you thinking it's a short yardage situation. All they need is 5, so you're trying to have your heels at the sticks to try to stop that. But come on, man, you got to just play your position. You don't have no help over the top. So if you get beat, that's crazy. Don't allow yourself to get beat over the top in a pivotal point in the game. It's just like like you said, we are this bend but don't break defense. And from what I saw, always once we got into the 3rd and 5s or the 3rd and 6 situations where they weren't really trying to run the ball on 4th down if they were in that down and distance, because they showed it in the game. If we just stop them, we get off the field. The out routes were there all day. I mean, it's one play, the tight end and the receiver ran like a corner and an out, and they both was wide. Nobody there. Like, middle of the field open. So if the middle of the field is open in the secondary, where is that safety? He should have been on the hash or stepping off the hash to get over there. And both of them is open. They're running 8-9 yards before guys even come into the picture. Defensive line, Sheldon Brown, you're getting washed down every time. Sheldon Day, Watt, whoever he is, he getting his ass cooked the whole game. He got pancaked about 10 times. If I'm being honest, if my eyes saw what I thought my eyes saw, he was getting his ass smoked the whole game. The whole game. Now, granted, 96. Who was 96?
Holmes.
Holmes, I thought he played an outstanding game. He was in gaps. He was coming off, making tackles and stuff like that. But these defensive tackles, people say all day, we have small defensive tackles. We need a run stopper. We need somebody like, y'all remember Gilbert Brown for the Green Bay Packers back in the day with a smoke visor?
We missed Deron Payne yesterday for real.
Yeah, facts. I kind of just lost my point. Mikey Stanford still, you're getting beat on out routes, and then it's like you don't want to come up and hit AJ Brown. I don't understand what you was doing on that play when you lucky he tripped up, because if he don't trip up, that's a house call. Do y'all remember that one on the far side on their sideline?
Mm-hmm.
So just to me, and our uncle talk about this is the worst defense, but he's supposed to call in. So I'm gonna let him call in to pop what he got to pop on this situation. But he said it was the worst thing he's seen in defensive play calling. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but
you know what? That's a so on the All Burgundy Go Everything post-game show, which I've been on for a few weeks. Shout out to All Burgundy and Go, my man Wally, Urban Sports Scene, all of them. They were talking last night about scheme on the defense. Like that might be an issue with Joe Witt. Like I think Joe Witt is I like Joe Witt's mentality as a coach. But they were saying that his scheme might be jacked up because, like, you saw a lot of those situations that we got put in, and how the guys didn't perform well. Also, too, man, I think there's still some roster adjustment that needs in the secondary. I feel like Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin are the same player. Like they're different players, but I feel like they're the same player. They both feel like box safeties to me. Like I said, in my defense, I want a safety that can truly be a center fielder. Like I want an Ed Reed, I want a Sean Taylor, you know, and people also want $1 million, but that don't happen all the time, right? But you really have to have a safety that can cover from side to side, you know what I'm saying? It can cover the middle of the field and really be a ball hawking safety. I think we got box safeties, guys that want to come down a little bit and play closer to the line of scrimmage. That's why you look at Chin had a bunch of games where he was in double-digit tackles. You know what I'm saying? Quan Martin had a bunch of games where he had 7, 8, 9 tackles. So, and that also means too that the running back is getting to the next level. You know what I mean? That, you know, they got to come up and make stops. But I think there's still a lot of adjustments that need to happen in the secondary. And that's, like I said, man, the guys did well. They won in spite of, but there's still gonna be a whole lot of realignment and readjustment that's gonna come with this defense, and I think scheme as well, that they're gonna have to kind of revamp how they call the plays and how they do some things.
Yeah. Do me a favor real quick. If you're not already doing so, like, share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. You think we are doing a good job. Also like DH at his socials, they're gonna come across the screen. Sub them up, you know what I'm saying? Got the podcast with Rio Robinson, man. Get him a look. I know y'all already looking at Rio's content, but give their collaboration a good look, man. And sub them up. But if you haven't already done so, do that for us. And then also back to your point, that's why you see when Butler comes in, it's as if Chin is either playing a Sam linebacker or he's playing a Will linebacker, depending on if Louisville is blitzing, or like when Bobby Wagner is blitzing the A gaps and Chin Louisville maybe blitzing the C or the D gaps or whatever, trying to bring pressure that way, or they're doing stunts or whatever. That's why we see that, because they are better in the box than they are, a traditional free safety. But we need a free safety that kind of can play with anticipation and can think. Because if we go back to the first playoff game against the Bucks in the red zone, Marshawn Lattimore is one-on-one. You got to think, Quan, you're a safety. Yeah. Why are you looking in the A and the B gap trying to play the run? You're not a linebacker, my boy. You are a safety. So you should have stepped up. You know, the only thing that they could beat you on right there is obviously a slant or a fade. Marshawn played the fade. You got to step in that window and play the slant. You step in that window, you play the slant. That's a pick six, my boy. So, it's
that's just coaching, and that's coaching, bro. Like you said, bro, that's coaching, bro. Yeah, you got to get coached up to play better, man.
Yeah. So,
what I was about to say also too, I think it's a little cockiness, ego or something. I don't know with he seems like one of the guys, like, I'm gonna call what I call, this is my defense, and you need to kind of get with it and get with the program. He may not have the players to fit his scheme, so you got to adjust to what the players are. Also, he's been good as far as like making second half adjustments and stuff like that, but like adjusting to your players' strength. with which Cliff does great on the offense with. I don't think Joe Witt does that great with it on the defense side. And like, for instance, if you look at the Eagles and you look at other teams, like every time we play the Eagles, their mentality is Terry McLaurin is not going to beat us. We're going to double him. We're going to blanket him. Y'all figure it out somewhere else. It's like, you got AJ Brown coming in. You got Mike Williams. You got these top guys. And it's like the top guy always beat us. It's like, how could you not be doubling or figuring out a way to scheme up something to double AJ Brown and figure everything else out? Let somebody else beat us. Let it be Devontae. Let it be Jahan. I mean, shit.
I don't know if I could have lived with Jahan Dotson beating.
I mean, exactly. You know what I mean? And even Goddard, they was running in and rounds with Goddard. I saw that play like 3 times. Goddard running in the middle of the zone, finding the gaps up the sideline, wide the fuck open.
Nigga, they was running counters with a fucking tight end.
Yeah, like what do we do? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, where was the adjustments in that part? Or simply like scheme up to, you know what I mean? Just don't let the best guy beat you and find ways to like adjust your defense to really focusing on that rather than sticking into this is my system. And that's kind of a little bit what Ron and Jack Del Rio was on. Like, this is the system and the system works. Guys just need to do their job. And it's like, it's the NFC Championship, man. It's all or nothing.
But y'all know most coaches is like that. Like, coaches are stubborn. Like, they're, especially if it's worked before. Like, that's the thing. Because they feel like you should be able to adjust and adapt to them more than they have to adjust and adapt to you. And I think that's people in general. Like, people want you to conform to them, especially if they feel like, they know better. But I think at this point, I don't know if it's fully that or if it's personnel, but I think whatever it is going to get a full evaluation this offseason, because I feel like now this organization is not going to allow things like that to be a thing. So if they're like, nah, you got to fit my personnel, I feel like they're going to adjust and adapt to what they have. I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where, like how we had with Jack Del Rio, where it was like, nah, you got to do what I do. Nah, I ain't gonna be one of those things. I think they're going to reevaluate and adjust and truly figure out how they can have a combination of the best concepts and scheme mesh with the best possible players and really put those two together. Because as a coach, you can't be stubborn. If you want to continue to stay in the league and you want to continue to win and do good things, you have to adjust your game. The same way like student body right doesn't work anymore. This is the NFL. This is a passing league. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took teams a long time to add the shotgun into the offense. Because like, starting football 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, why would you do such a thing? No, this a new game, bro. You better adjust and adapt or you're going to get left behind. So I think they're going to do that too as they evaluate this whole offseason, bro.
Yeah,
absolutely. No question. Hold on, I'm trying to set up before we can have a caller calling into the Reedie and Z hotline right now. Coming to the stage is Unc. What's up, Unc? What you got to say, Unc? You on live, Unc? Are you on?
They just blocked out.
All right. Well, when you call back in, Unc, when you ready. But go ahead, Z. What you got?
I mean, offensively, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Jaden Daniels led the way. He led rushing. You know what I mean? Didn't see much out of the running backs for sure. Outside of that slant that Terry took to the house, no really big plays offensively from any of the receivers, anything like that. You know what I mean? Ertz had the game of his life. Like 11 catches on like 15 targets. So Ertz was definitely doing his thing, but I felt like we didn't take enough shots. Yes, we was fighting from behind a lot, and we were able to drive a little bit, but we just didn't take the necessary shots down the field. Like, I just, even, driving down with 30 seconds left, I still think we was kind of dinking and dunking, trying to take a lot of underneath plays and, drive down the field. And it's like, look, we got time against us, and we down 2-3 scores. Like, we need to go get it. So, and I mean, of course, the Diami fumble, that was a drive killer for sure. The Eckler fumble hurt us big. The fumble by McNichols on the kickoff, and off of 4 turnovers, they were able to get 28 points. So that killed us a lot. You want I see Uncle you on. You want to jump in and tell us about the defense real quick before we go further into the offense? You could go ahead talk. Can you hear us?
Unc, you gotta come up. You must be on mute on your phone.
Make sure you're not on mute.
You're not on mute on our end. Can you talk? All right, well, leave and come back, and we'll come back to you. Leave and come back. God, you slowing us up.
He said, "Can you talk?" And he was like, "Try to talk, come on, man." It's like,
hey, come on, Oh, he on mute. Oh,
I just muted him while we I was trying to mute myself. Go ahead, Darian. I'm about to call him.
Are you with us now, Unc? Are you with us? Can you talk? Are you on mute? What's this nigga? Unc, are you there? All right, he gonna have to come back. Come back on, Unc. Go ahead, Z. Janky Productions, Reedie and Z, man.
I mean that's what I was stating on the offensive side. You know, I mean, the turnovers definitely was a game killer. I mean, we was fighting back, and I just don't think that Cliff, took enough shots for the situation we was in. Now again, I didn't go back and watch the tape to see if they was playing deep and only allowing underneath stuff like that, but I feel like we only threw like one shot towards the end zone, and that's the one that Quinyon caught the interception and Terry towards the end of the game. Outside of that, it was like no long throws, and the run game was outside of Jaden. The run game was non-existent on my end.
He was getting crazy pressure, man.
And that too, pressure.
Jaden was getting crazy pressure. And then to your point, they didn't take a lot of shots. I mean, where they were at the game, like you look at it, like the first half, still a close ball game. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they didn't have to be desperate that first half. While they could have been, I don't think they felt like they could have, because you gotta think they kept it a close game for the most part. But I think offensively, it felt like they couldn't really get in the groove. Like I think one of the best drives was this drive right before halftime, where they was able to go down and get an opportunity to kick the field goal, and they made it. Shout out to Zane Gonzalez too, man. He was he's 3 for 3 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. He made all his field goals, didn't have any issues with the kicks at all. But I think that was the best drive that they had. That drive where they were able to score a field goal right before the half, and they weren't getting the ball back. So they were able to drive. And I think one thing you kind of notice about Jaden Daniels in the offense, like it's a rhythm-based offense. Like if he get into a rhythm, he can keep it rolling. So that's how, if he gets into a rhythm early, that's how he can have them long, sustainable drives. But I feel like the way they had to call the game yesterday is that when you have the big plays that Philly was having, I feel like they kind of still want to keep the game together, because you don't want to start chasing. And I think that's what happens when you try to go for that two-point conversion early. You start chasing points, and then also trying to chase, being down 2 touchdowns. Touchdown only worth 7 points, bro. So whether you get it one way or another, trying to force big plays to try to make it happen, they still was just trying to play within themselves. So I don't think he called too much of a bad game, but I think that game got away from you so quick. Turnovers were crucial at bad spots, but when that game get away from you, it's kind of tough to really call it the way that you want to, because like I said with Jaden, I think Cliff is also a rhythm type play caller too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with all of that. But do we have Uncle on the line? Unc, you good now, Unc?
I'm good now.
There you go.
Hey, amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Give him thanks. Unc is finally here. They popping their shit in the chat, Unc. They saying you speechless because of the 55 points they put on the board. Unc, what you called me earlier, you talking all of this about how you feel about this defense and this defensive play calling, Joe Witt Jr., this, that, and the third. Tell the people how you feel, Unc.
Okay, so first of all, it did, it hit you a little bit because it was our worst game of the year. So it kind of hit you. We didn't expect that. I want to commend the team for being able to even make it that far, even with the bad defense that we had. But far as yesterday, I think we had bad defensive play call game and preparation for, first of all, Brown may be the best receiver in the playoffs right now. So why are you covering him man to man? You have 4th and 5, and you have one guy that haven't done nothing since he's been here covering him man to man. Then after he didn't succeed, you have Sammerstill checking him down by the goal line when he should be double teamed. So I just think overall it was just a bad play call. I mean, preparation game for the defense. They weren't prepared. Of course, we can't stop the run. We already knew that. But situational fourth down, you have to stop that. That was a chance for us to come down, take the lead, get back into the game. But we gave up a 4th and 5 on the best receiver in the league, man to man. Don't make sense to me. So that's where I'm at with it.
So I thought I was hearing you calling for, defensive wholesale changes on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to coaching staffs and things of that nature. I mean, is that your sentiment that you are
no way? No way. We made it all the way to a championship game, 1 to the Super Bowl. You want to get rid of the coach? No, I ain't thinking nothing like that. I just think I want him to shut up and stop talking and coach about we gonna hit the quarterback. You ain't touched that quarterback. He ran all over you. Now how you look? We're gonna be the hardest hitting team. Man, you got one hitter. You got Louisville. Nobody else hitting. Your cornerbacks are horrible. So shut up and coach, man. We're gonna be all right. I know we need to get some better players in there, but play with what you have right now. Stop talking.
Oh, and
get rid of no.
Let your
and this
game
is also coming from Unc. Unc played in the league many moons ago for the Cleveland Browns. So he is coached. He coached me. He coached Z. So he is coming from a football knowledge.
He know ball.
So what else you got, Unc, before we let you go?
That was pretty much it. I just want to commend you guys. Appreciate you guys for keeping me interested in football all year. I'm looking forward to you guys being on all off season, so I have something to listen to for football because we missed off season. We ain't had nobody. So you guys have been great, man. I appreciate you guys. I commend you, and that's all I have.
All right, Unc. Hell to him, Unc.
All right, see you later. Hell to him.
Shout out.
Pop your shit, Reedie.
I'm chilling today, Unc. I ain't got nothing for today, Unc. I'm chilling.
All right, I'm with you. Later.
All right, bro. Yeah, bro, man, appreciate Unc for joining the program, man. Thank you.
That's good to get I was curious today to hear some perspectives from people who really know ball, because the fans gonna overreact today. Like, fans are super emotional. Fans are gonna overreact. Like, don't look at Twitter because Joe Witt should be fired, Marshawn Lattimore should be cut, everybody's gone. Like, y'all gotta relax. I really was curious at the people who really know football. And that's why before we started, man, the phone call I had, man, was somebody who know ball and was talking to me about ball and was really asking, are the fans really talking about certain things? And I'm just like, yeah, bro. Like, that's the thing, bro. Them losses hit hard. They get back into this territory and they're like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, bro, it's football, man. It happens, bro. Like, that's the thing. Playing corner is in my opinion, the hardest position on the football field. Like, you literally have to cover one amazing athlete running backwards. Like who can do that? You know what I'm saying? And they're in a corner on 2 legs that ain't been beat. Like, not one. Your most favorite, Darrell Green, some of the best, Deion Sanders, Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, some of the greatest corners that ever lived have all gotten beat. They all got burnt. They all got head topped on them. So it's like, corner's hard, bro. And I think we've seen so much bad cornerback play. Any bad cornerback play, you just associated to that. You've had to watch Benjamin St. Juste for 2 years. So yeah, anybody that plays remotely close to him, or any style that get pass interference, or is too handsy or too over aggressive, they're gonna say it's bad play. But bro, I think Marshawn Lattimore still is a dog in this league. Yeah, he may have lost a step, but I think it scheme kind of dictates how he plays, bro. Like I said, having a good ball hawking safety to help him over the top will extend his playing career another 2-3 more years at a high level.
Yeah, so DH, real quick. I know you're short on time. You got to go, but offensively, how would, like, scheme wise and play calling wise, what did you think of the job that Cliff did in this game? From start to finish.
I think Cliff did a good job, especially the first couple of drives. Right, you get them in rhythm, try to call what you can. And I think now it's to the point now, fourth down come up, he looking at the same play sheet. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, all right, let me go to these plays. Nah, he's looking at the same play sheet. And Jaden is a dynamite player, like, on all 4 downs. I think, like we said earlier, man, the game kind of just gets away from you, and there's not really too much you can do. Those turnovers really set you back when you're trying to build a drive, you're trying to stay close in the game. But Cliff has taken criticism all year for his play calling. But I mean, his play calling got us 12 wins, bro. So like, I'm okay with it. I think he's very solid play caller. I think he could do well. I think there's always room for improvement and room for growth. But I also believe too, man, with a better offensive line, because that's what we need. In a dynamic running back, like that's what I really want, bro. I want to Saquon Barkley, even if I can't get a Saquon Barkley, like somebody like Alvin Kamara, like even with that style, not him specifically, but a style like that, or a Bijan, like somebody that can tote the ball all game and that's effective in the pass and the run game, and you not have to truly switch it up when Brian Robinson is there or Austin Eckler is in there. Like if they get a home run hitter at running back, that changes the complete dynamic of this football team, because now you are a legitimate run threat every time Jaden Daniels and the running back is in the backfield. So there's still a lot of holes to fill on the team. They got a lot of work to do this all season, but like I said, man, it's promising to me, bro, because I think we're in a good spot, man, and I think we're truly in a spot where you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league who now has his origin story. He now has his villain arc. It's starting right now. Like, trust me, the league not gonna want to really mess with him, because he did got this taste of this loss, and he's like, oh no, never again. So I think this is just the start of how this team is gonna perform in the next few years, bro.
Yeah. Just want to take the opportunity to thank you for joining us today, man. We appreciate your time, sharing your insight. Y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all go follow him on YouTube. The information is in the comments right here. Follow him there. Also, he can be found on X right here below. Man, good conversation. And we would definitely want you back on in this off season to talk some of these possible moves that we can make, etc.
For sure, man. You know, I had no problem coming back and kicking with y'all, man. I'm always going to support, and I appreciate y'all having me. Audience, everybody in the chat, man, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share with a friend, do all that good stuff. Every Friday at 5 p.m., the afternoon kick, myself and Rio Robinson. This week, we will have former Washington Redskins wide receiver again, Anthony Armstrong, who said he was going to come back if we won. He hit me up on after the game, said I'm coming to do the show anyway. So I said, all right, man, I appreciate you. So make sure y'all pull up for that. A whole lot off season content coming, man, and it's good stuff, man. But I'm always happy to support y'all boys, and anything I can do, y'all let me know, and we there, man. We got to lock in, bro.
Yeah. Hell to the W, man.
Likewise.
Yes, sir, man. I'll see y'all. Y'all be good.
All right.
But yeah, I wanted to go down the stats real quick. We didn't really kind of break down the stat line. Jaden Daniels was 29 of 48 for 255, one tutty, which was the slant to Terry McLaurin, and one interception. He was sacked 3 times, QBR of 72.8. He had 6 carries for 48 yards rushing, with a rushing touchdown as well. B. Rob had 11 carries for 36 yards. That's what we kind of talked about. We wasn't able to really get that run game established from the running backs. And definitely, moving forward, that's definitely something that we must address. Sore thumb. Eckler had 8 carries for 15 yards. So Zach Ertz led the receptions and 11 receptions for 104 yards. Terry McLaurin was 3 receptions for 51 and a tutty. De'Ami Brown, 3 receptions, 42. Yesterday, we missed playoff De'Ami. He had an opportunity. We had a nice catch. He went to, for the extra move and trying to get the stiff arm to, make something happen. And, they knocked the ball out. That was the first fumble of the game for us. It definitely was a drive killer. And, De'Ami definitely, I watched him when he went to the sideline, and he took that hard. And, a lot of guys went down to encourage him. I even saw Dan Quinn go, give him a hug and speak to him to kind of encourage him and tell him to stay. Basically, I'm assuming it's obvious he told him pretty much stay with it. He ended up having 2 catches after that. But we didn't get to see playoff De'Ami yesterday. And it's, a big question moving into the offseason will he be retained with this team? So, that's something to think about as well. Zacchaeus had 4 receptions for 26 yards. Ben Sinnott had the fake punt catch thrown by Tressway for 23 yards. Defensively, Bobby Wagner, 5 solo tackles, 4 assists. That's on the low end. Where was Louvu? Louvu had 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 2 assists. He had a sack. Armstrong had a sack. No turnovers, no forced fumbles, none of that thing. So it was pretty like flat on that end. And then in return game, we didn't really do much as well. Philly, on the other hand, they pretty much dominated. Hurts, 20 for 28, completing 71% of his passes, 246 yards, a touchdown, a 110 QBR. Saquon Barkley, 15 carries for 118, average 8 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns. Hurts had 3 touchdowns rushing. So a 4 total for him. That tush push. Let's talk about that tush push real quick. Frankie Louvu with like 3 straight encroachment offsides penalties, jumping over the line. I had went to the bathroom at that time, but when I came back, I sat there and I stood on the steps and just watched all 3 of those encroachments. And I was just shaking my head like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen nothing like this before. You couldn't really hear the stadium loud. You couldn't really hear the explanation of the ref, but it sounded like somewhere he was saying, like, if it happened again, they might have awarded a touchdown or something like that. Like if it keep happening, something like, what was going through your head at that moment, Reedie? Like, I know you was speechless, but tell me about
That part. Shout out to Big Ray. That part right there. That's what had me. I was speechless. What was going through my mind during that time of the game was, I was like, are they doing this on purpose? like is this a game or something? Like they refuse to just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, bro. Like I don't necessarily know what I was thinking, but that was a rule that I never knew that they can award a touchdown at the 1 yard line. Like, because obviously like it's a half the distance penalty, but at you at the eighth of an inch mark, you can't move the football no more. So I don't know. In my mind, I just thought it was comical. In my mind, everything was racing through my mind. I was looking around thinking, like, damn, I need to get the fuck out of here because I don't got time for this shit with these Eagles fans. They're going to be overly keep rapping and I might smack the shit out one of these motherfuckers in here. I was thinking of my exit strategy. Like, man, when the fuck am I going to get up? But I had to realize that I was with an op. So, and then in my mind, I was like, damn, like if we won, I would have wanted to stay for the shit. So I didn't want to be a Bama and be like, I'm gone and storm off type shit. But in my mind, I was thinking, I got to fucking go. I don't want to be in here. But really, that's what was in my mind. Because by that time, I knew the game was fucking over. And I knew we were going to take an L. And it was just like really sinking in at that point in time in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everything was. I had that moment in my head because when you asked, he was like, "Yo, what y'all doing?" And I'm looking like, like y'all ain't ready to go. And I be, what I mean, like, look, Reedie, me and Reedie, we go back, but like, so we didn't start out as best friends. I would say like over the last, we always been in that best friend group, but like I got my core best friends, but over these last like 3 to 4 years, me and Reedie has really grown to be like this is my, like you say, this is my 1A, you know what I mean? So it's like, dog, I know Reedie like the back of my hand, so I just knew it was coming. He just get to like, he's sitting 2 seats to the right of me, and I could just kind of like feel him like just look my way, and he was like, so yeah, what y'all doing? Y'all ready to step? And I always got to be smart. I looked at him like, I mean, I don't know, I'm cool with whatever you tell me. So I already knew he was blowing. He didn't even respond. So I let some time go. But in my head, I already knew. I like, man, I got my wife with me. You know what I mean? Even though I know she's a low-key like a sore loser. If we would have run, she would have been the one like, yeah, let me get the keys. And she would have stepped off. And we would have had to celebrate on our own and then feel it pressure to get back the car because she waiting. But I'm like, you know what I mean? I know she going to want to endure and enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
Like you said, we paid these breads for these tickets. It's an experience. So I was just like cool with it. I'm like, it's cool. And it's like, in my mind, I was like kind of like locked in. Like I was a player. Like I was on the field. I wanted to sit there really and watch them celebrate the whole entire time. So I can like really leave, like come back next year. Like this is the same. This is where I want to be next year. Maybe not this stadium, but you know what I mean? I want this rematch. So I want, you know what I mean, to come back to this point and look at them and be like, we did it. Y'all shitted on us the year before, but we here now. So that was my mindset. And so I wasn't even tripping. I'm like, we can stay, we can leave, it don't matter to me. But you know, what I mean, she ended up deciding to kind of leave, you know, a little bit after the celebration, and it worked out fine. But you know, even at the end, when I stood there and was kind of enduring and just looking at all them fans, I was telling her, I'm like, look at all these Eagles fans just walking down these steps like this. I'm talking about floods of Eagles fans, and I'm like, man, it just looked like
green.
birds. Yeah, like green, just birds just swarming towards us. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna embrace this because I know we gonna be back.
If you ever been to the link, like when you come in, it's them steps that goes up. The team store is to your right as you're looking at the stadium. And it's just nothing but green. Like, and we're standing in the middle of this courtyard with this burgundy on, just all burgundy. It's just like all eyes are just looking at us. As they walk past, they popping their shit, this, that, the third. A lot of them was like, bro, y'all got y'all one. Like, y'all definitely going to be back. Like, they was, you know, giving respect. But then you had your others that was saying this and saying that or whatever. But they, you know, they said quietly and walked their ass on out the door. But yeah, I was waiting for my buddy from when I was in the military, my battle buddy. I was waiting for him to come. He's an Eagles fan, so I could say hello to him and chop it up with him. And then, like, when I seen him, we kind of embraced, hug, and then it's like all of these Eagles fans just like looking at me, just like, oh damn, he's cool with him. Like, he's an Eagles fan, like kind of just like, damn, like they ain't never seen it before. Like, it's people are friends outside of fucking football. It is what it is. Like, that's still my man. Just because he fucking likes a different team, I don't, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been through some shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost died in Afghanistan. He was one of the guys that had my back. So forever grateful for him for the rest of my life. So because I'm still here. And if it wasn't for one of those guys, I wouldn't be here right now. So, you know, just a little side piece info that y'all may have not known, you know, for real. But yeah, it was in that moment, even though I was mad, I still kind of like wanted to embrace that, you know, kind of that feeling like, look at like the popular shit like that. But it was love, like, damn, like y'all really going to the Super Bowl, like that joy that they had to see their team win. And I just was like, damn, we gonna feel that one day.
Yeah. And then another part too, like my mindset is I know the notion of this, you know, Redskin, Commanders, Cowboy rivalry, and that rivalry is gonna be historic, and the rivalry is what it is. But you know what I mean, right now in this moment, my mind is shifted on the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get all hype about the Cowboys no more. Yeah, it's the Cowboys game. All right, it's cool. But my mind is focused on the Eagles because that's who I want to beat. You know what I mean? And it's like you want to beat the best. And you know what I mean? You want to look at the best, you want to, you know, emulate yourself off them a little bit, add your twist so you can overcome them. Like that's who I want to top. I feel like I've always, and I said it last year, and Reedie, you know, hounded me about it, but I was like, man, they are a properly run team. Like the way they built that team through the draft, they traded, you know, a lot of the top guys. When it started with Wentz, you know what I mean, and then they started losing people along the way, but they rebuilt that shit. They turned their team around within like a year. You know what I mean? So I felt like we want to be more like them in that aspect of it. And it's not, and you know what I mean? Like, fuck the Eagles, they beatable. And it's like, yeah, I know on the football side of things, they beatable and things like that, but they really built that shit and put that shit together, and they've been relevant. So that's who I want to be. That's who I want to beat. That's who I want to mock emulate myself out to, not worry about no bum ass Cowboys. So like, to all you Cowboy fans is out there just thinking we worried about y'all not even on our list. Y'all not even the bar. We chasing higher things. So I feel like personally, how I used to feel about that rivalry, that's how I feel about the Eagles. And it may be, you know, and then, you know, my wife being an Eagles fan may add to that. And that's fine. But I'm over here with it. We're not worried about no fucking Cowboys. And I just want to say
shout out. And I just want to let the people know one thing. Z went on me yesterday. It's supposed to be my man, $100,000, because I said, you know, y'all little thing y'all got going on. I said, I'm not coming back to Philadelphia again. So don't ask me, not regular season, not playoffs, not nothing. I hate Philadelphia and that fucking stadium. That's how I was feeling last night. And I was like, y'all little thing y'all got on with this little relationship with this little football thing. And Z gonna say, it ain't little nothing. It's big over here. Fuck you talking about. Yeah, I ain't shit little about this relationship. And furthermore, I wasn't even talking about your marriage. I'm talking about the football rivalry thing y'all got going on.
It ain't little.
Supposed to be on my side. Oh, I ain't that little over here. Oh, all right. Respect. Say less.
Yeah, facts. I learned that a long time ago in church. Don't little nothing over here. Well, it's big shit over here. That's how we rolling. So that's what it is. It ain't nothing personal. If somebody say little shit on your shit, do the same for them. It's big shit over here. That part. She told us some that part. Go ahead. But yeah, though, man, kind of shifting a little bit. And I know it's gonna be areas and other episodes when we're gonna kind of dig deeper into it. But one day after this, what do you see far as for the Commanders? Like, what if you are Adam Peters, what is like the first 3 things you want to do to when you make change?
If I'm Adam Peters today, I am looking to call T. Higgins' agent ASAP. We need another number 1 receiver to take the pressure off of Terry McLaurin. So where you may not be able to cover him, take him away and cover him with 2 people, because you have to respect T. Higgins or another receiver of that stature. And I also think that we need to maybe draft a receiver at some point, a nice receiver. And I'm cool with bringing Diami back. Diami has shown me enough in these playoff Diami, not just Diami, playoff Diami, that he's not going to cost us nothing. So why not go out and sign him to a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal for virtually no money and bring him back? I think he can help us down the stretch, and it helps with the continuity of the team. But that's the first thing that I would do. Lock down the wide receiver position. Then after that, the rest of my focus is on the defensive line, and i.e. a corner or a free safety. A free safety that could play sideline to sideline and man-to-man coverage. That's what I would look to do. And then also we also need to address we need an edge rusher. We need a feared edge rusher. So I would look for a Max Crosby. I don't know if y'all seen that he was on NFL Network. He took us to beat the Lions. And it seems like he thinks we are a attractive location, and he may be looking to get out of Las Vegas. So I think that, maybe we should look into that. We need somebody that can, that's feared, like a Hendrickson or Myles Garrett, or just somebody that comes off the edge that just can dominate. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can plug and play defensive tackles. We don't need the next Aaron Donald there, but we need solid play. We need Payne. We need the Payne of his contract year. If we get that Payne, I think we're good money. We just need a little bit more depth on that defensive line to be able to stop the run. And maybe get another, maybe get a linebacker, a depth linebacker. But Jordan McGee may be the guy, struggle with injuries and stuff all season. They were talking about how great he was at OTAs and in the off season. And then I think we need to look for a right tackle. Maybe I feel like the rookie did a good job at left tackle, so I feel confident with him there. I don't feel like Jaden wasn't getting a lot of pressure from his side. All of the pressure came really from Wiley's side, and Wiley played better than I thought he was going to play this year. And maybe look to, get some more depth at guard, just our overall offensive line depth play. Allegretti played a pretty good season to me for being a perennial backup in this league. So I think in that order, I would go wide receiver weapons. I would go edge rusher. I would go safety. But I would use most of my assets on the defensive side. Maybe we could do that in free agency versus the draft. But in the draft, I may go look for a running back, somebody that could take the, top off, can take it anywhere on the field. Saquon Barkley can take it anywhere on the field. Derrick Henry can take it anywhere on the field. No Diddy, no pun intended. anywhere from any distance. They could take it the distance anywhere, and he can contribute and they can contribute in the pass game. That's what we need. I don't know how the hell the New York Giants feel good about themselves letting that get out the building. Dog, absolute dog, killer, just outstanding. That's how you play the running back position in this league. That's how you play it. So that's what I would want. If I'm Adam Peters and I'm Lance Newmark and I'm Martin Mayhew and I'm these guys that's in this front office, I'm sending my scouts out looking for the next wide receiver that we could bring in here for the cheap and the next running back that can take it the distance. If it's Alshon Jeffrey, I'm looking to see how can we get up to draft him, because that's what we need. That's what it's going to take. We had to surround Jaden Daniels with weapons, and we got to surround this defense with solid players, just better players overall.
Yeah. And mind you, I told Reedie, give me the first 3 moves he made, and he just named 25.
I was excited. I'm on to the off season.
Yeah, all season mode for sure. But nah, definitely. If I'm Adam Peters, first 3 things I'm doing is for surely figuring out what you're gonna do at the wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like he said, I mean, I would love to get T. Higgins. But I think that T. Higgins is going to be a receiver that's going to cost $20+ million a year. You know what I mean? And I will, if you do that, then I think, a corresponding move was that is you're going to have to move Payne or Allen. Both of them are, in the top 5 of our salaries on our team.
Move them.
And they sitting there like sore thumbs. The production, the money don't match the production, especially on the John Allen side. I mean, I can't act like Payne deserved, this year, Payne deserved that cap hit. So whether it's a restructure or, they end up moving him. And I would hate to see that because Payne's my guy. I'm the one that, I kind of hang on to the players I like, especially if they're not like straight garbage. But I think that, Payne is a guy that he can stick around, but that cap number got to come down. And so we got to figure that out as far as what we do with a receiver and whether that corresponding move. If it's a guy like T. Higgins, then we're going to have to correspond that with that on the defensive side, figuring out the D tackles. But we're going to have to find us a Jalen Carter disruptive defensive lineman, whether that's going to be an edge or interior. We got to figure it out. If we need somebody of that caliber or close enough to it that's going to disrupt some things. I don't think our guys are disruptive enough. We don't get the pressure that we need. We've seen other teams just sit back there and be able to throw the ball on us all year. We've seen teams be able to run on us, and we got to be able to make some stops. Our D-line is very spotty when it comes to production, and that has to stop. The second thing is definitely addressing the offensive linemen. You're going to have to look into some in the free agency this year and get some guys in here. We're moving into year 2 of Jaden's. It's having a developmental guy is cool, but we need somebody that's going to come in and that's really going to make an impact right away. So, definitely addressing, I think Alec Reddy signed like a 3-year deal. It may not be a left guard situation, but definitely addressing that right tackle because I don't think Wiley is the future there. But, strengthening that offensive line as a whole. Running back is definitely the next most important thing on my list in my mind. B-Rob, I love you. I loved you.
Love you.
You came in as a rookie and, you end up getting shot and you came back from that and it a great story. I commend you like for sure. You're not a one though. It's hard for me to say that. I bet on
He's
you.
on board now,
all
people.
year. He was my
board.
He was my top fantasy running back. Like I rode with B-Rob the entire season. It cost me a fantasy championship. I was the number 1 team in my league. It cost me a championship. But I definitely felt like this year would be kind of like that proven year for B Rob, especially with having a weapon like Jalen at the helm. B Rob started out the year pretty hot. Somewhere along in that process, defenses made adjustments, and he wasn't able to do nothing. And a lot of that contributes to the O-line, so I'm not gonna act like it's all his fault. But he just is not that breakaway guy. Like, so for instance, when Saquon became a free agent and the Giants announced they wasn't gonna resign him, I called Reedie ASAP. I said, man, we need to figure out a way to get Saquon. And he like, for what? I mean, we got to run it back. Yeah, Saquon, he's always like, no, Reedie. Saquon is a game-changing back. And that's what we need. We need somebody like that. We went the route to try to compliment B-Rob with the Eckler thing. And, it's cool and it was fine. But just like Darian said, we need somebody that's can be a dual threat that, it's not obvious that, when they're in there, we're just going to be running the ball. Then when the sub come in there, we're passing the ball. That's the passing back, so look out for that. We need somebody that's a dual threat so it can, we can be more versatile and go from there. And since Reedie did more than 3, I'm going to definitely address the defense for sure. We got to find us a true safety. You find us a true safety, a better free safety. Maybe it helps the cornerbacks out a little bit more. Potentially, but also, we can't get beat over the top like that. And the edge rush, we gotta get an edge rusher. Whether that's through the draft moving forward, if they elect to go and get a disruptive edge rush and not a disruptive D tackle, then that's fine. But if you don't go get a disruptive edge rush, you gotta go get a disruptive deep tackle. You gotta find a way to get somebody on that D line to be disruptive, to address it and get pressure on these other teams, so we can solidify it. And of course, you got to find the replacement for Bobby Wagner. I think I think they will bring him back, but we got to get somebody in the middle that's faster, that's aggressive as well, and that's somebody that can, be ready to fill in his shoes when he ride out into the sunlight. So that's my focuses if I'm AP. And we're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have other episodes where we're going deeper into things. But for now, that's like the first 3 to 4 things that I'm focused on.
Yeah, no question. The trenches is I kind of am ahead of myself because I like shiny new toys and I like scoring points. So that's why I'm saying go get a T. Higgins. T. Higgins, that's my one. But does it make sense? Not necessarily. Doesn't necessarily make sense because the money that he's going to require, and I just think he's not willing to sign a shorter term deal to kind of like come in here for 2 years or something like that, and then possibly pay him. But then if you give him a shorter deal, then you're kind of like he's competing with Terry because Terry's going to be due pretty soon on his deal. So, and Terry is going to be a Commander for life. Like, I don't think they're going to let Terry ever walk. I mean, they shouldn't, for what he's brought to this organization, just being a guy that's just selfless, that's just willing to put the team first, never an eye guy, never cried, never bitched, complained, just waited his turn and just did what he could do for this organization. So I feel like you got to repay a guy for that. So yeah, but the trenches obviously, for me, are the next step for us to take a step in the offseason. But definitely, I've been saying this for the last, I don't know how long. B Rob just doesn't give me what I need as far as just he has like one cut and done. It's like a cut and he just slows down. Like he don't have that burst to just like Saquon jump cut on a dime out of there. Like we need somebody like that. Out of there. You know what I'm saying? Stretch the field, hit to the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Run away from guys. We don't have that, and we need that. And I thought Austin Eckler coming here was going to give us that. As good as Austin Eckler was this year, he just wasn't quite enough to kind of like just give us those explosive breakaway runs and stuff. He had a couple, but it just wasn't enough. Couldn't really stay necessarily healthy. He had the multiple concussions, things of that nature. That's not his fault, but it is what it is. It comes with the game we play, the game we love. So, yeah, running back has to be addressed. It sucks that we're picking at the back of the draft, but it's good because we had a good season. I guess we got to fall on those moral victories at this moment. But I hate him. Great season overall. If I had to rate this season, I got to give it an A. I got to give it an A. Outstanding. You know, I thought we were going to go 8 and 9 at best, maybe sneaking to the playoffs. You know, we snuck into the party and we done shook some things up. We knocked the top dog off. So, you know, and got the Philadelphia just came up short. They were the number 2 team in the league. I mean, they struggled early, but they were able to find it. They have the roster. They have the people on that team from start to finish. Like, they were the better team. Like, Detroit was the better team on paper, and they definitely played like it. They seen what happened to Detroit, and they said, no, not in our house. So you got to take your hat off to them. But yeah. And I also think we should bring back Ertz. I think he's a glue guy.
I agree.
I think he's one of them guys that that helps galvanize. That's kind of like a steady point for Jaden. Jaden Daniels going into a sophomore season. You need a guy like Zach Ertz. You need a guy like Bobby Wagner. I don't necessarily agree with you with Bobby. Bobby Wagner's have 130 tackles. He ain't had under that. So, like, I feel like he ain't the fastest of guys, but as far as middle linebacker, he's doing what he's doing. I think Bobby Wagner can give you 2 to 3 more seasons as a middle linebacker, and I feel like we're building something. And I want guys like that started it to be a part of it. You know, you need to go out and get upgrades at positions, but bring in younger talent that can sit for a year or two and learn under them, and that's how you strengthen your program for down the road. You know what I mean? Like a Jeremy Chin, he needs to be back. Chin played some of his best football since his rookie season this year. Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, sign playoff Diami back to a deal. Who else? Who else? We'll have Marshawn. We'll have Mikey. We'll have Louvu. And just restructure, kind of get a little bit bigger in the trenches and more speed off of the edges, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and just to kind of elaborate on the Zach Ertz thing, I saw last night where he kind of had a couple of quotes that's been circling around, but there was a moment where Zach Ertz was trying to figure out his career. He went to Arizona, he got hurt, he didn't know what was next for him, and he fought back and fought through, and he came here, and Cliff Kingsbury was one of the key reasons that he came here, and kind of pushed him through, and he ended up having a pretty solid year, better than a lot of us thought he would. So I definitely think Ertz would definitely be a key piece to bring back, but it's kind of figure out, do he want to come back? He kind of made comments last night that kind of just sit out there, and I'm about to read it. But he said, obviously I'm going to be disappointed we didn't get this one. I've played in 2 NFC championship games in 12 years, so I understand how difficult it was to get here. But the thing I'll take away is just the bond that he had with the guys that he was able to meet, playing with Jaden. He said, I wish I was 22 playing with him. Had my whole career in front of me with them. So it's just that tough. But overall, it was an amazing group of guys, amazing coaching staff. I've loved every minute of being here with them. He just sets such a good foundation every day. So when times get tough or things get tough, we just kept going back to the foundation. So I've loved every bit of it. So, even with that quote, it just, it makes you think, like, will he be back? Is he going to come back? So it's like, it's up on the fence. But I do think it sounds like he might be teetering retirement, so he might not. But I do think that it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And if he does not retire, I definitely think that they're going to push to bring him back. And reminder, he was the very first free agent acquisition of this regime. So they think really high of him, and it showed. And, even when he had some early struggles during the season, he was able to, they stuck with him. Even at that, when we thought he had the concussion and he was going to be out, and it's like right after that, his season just kind of went up from there. So definitely a guy that I want to see back here. He'll help keep that locker room solid. as well as Wagner for sure with their leadership, and something to keep your eye on. But of course, it's not the answer of the entire future. Ben Sinnott gonna have to step up next year. We drafted him in the second round. You gotta be able to, find something out of him, or are we gonna be looking for another tight end? Did we reach with him or not? So it's a lot of questions there, but I will, that's something that I'm gonna keep my eye on all off season, and definitely when training camp come, I'm definitely gonna be there locked in on my scouting shit, trying to figure it out. So we're gonna see for sure. Yeah. Any other things you wanted to address?
Yeah, shout out.
I wanted to address something too. But go ahead. What was you about to
shout out to Skims Cole. Reedie is officially into hockey mode. I am the biggest hockey fan there is, and I'm ready for it. I'm here. So the Caps got my undivided attention for the rest of the time. Number one in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a great comment, because going through this whole playoff push, I kept thinking back to that year that we won the Stanley Cup. And, the years previous, like, we were projected to be, President's Trophy champions. We were coming out of the Metropolitan. We were supposed to be the guys that we just kept coming up to a Pennsylvania team by the name of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round, and fucking Sid the Kid getting our ass out of there. But then that year in 2018, we were just able to find it. Got the Columbus Blue Jackets out of there in the first round. Then we go and play the Penguins and get them out of there. Then we get to the Eastern Conference Finals and get the team down in Florida out of there. I can't think of their name right. The Lightning. No, not there. Tampa Bay Lightning. Get them out of there. Then we go win it all against the upstart Vegas Golden Knights. So I was just thinking about that and this team during that moment. And then the next year, the Nationals, same way. Couldn't get there. It was a wild card. Couldn't get through the divisional round. And they just found a way. And I was just comparing this team to them teams, and it was brought to an end last night. But it's just, I feel like we might be one of those teams. Even the Mystics, when they won it the following year after that, same way. They kind of could get there, get out of there. Elena Deladon comes in, they win it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But go ahead, Z. Go ahead. What was your other comment?
Yeah. So my other comment. Well, before I jump into that comment, I'm gonna say here on the pod, I think I'm finally ready for a hockey game, Bobby. So yeah, set that up.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna announce it. I don't like to be started. Just for the record, I'm one of those guys. Don't let nobody start me on that. Because I don't like people in the background. Like, yeah, you got him to hockey because I put you on. I don't really be liking that for sure. But I'm announcing here. You can go ahead and set that up, Bobby. You can start me on some hockey. Take me to my first hockey game.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So I want to say this before we close out. Marshon Lattimore is $18 million against the cap. His tenure with us thus far has not lived up to what we hoped for. So I posed to you the question, because it's everybody says, man, he's been getting burnt, he's been getting torched. I've even heard you talk about how you're not satisfied and you don't know, like, man, did we reach or whatever. Me personally, I don't necessarily see the team making a move there. We kind of gave up a lot to get him. So I think personally that he'll be here next year. But what does Reedie think? What does Reedie want to do with Marshon Lattimore and at an $18 million cap hit? Because I'm not sure if you knew that he $18 million against the cap. And I know you're a numbers guy. So
I kind of knew that the hit was going to be worse next year than this year because he kind of was on the cheap. So this is kind of like when he's getting into his money of his deal that he signed with the Saints. So it was kind of like cheap this year. The Saints took on some salary, and I think we took on some salary as well. So we didn't necessarily have to pay for nothing. But I would say this: I'm willing to give Marshawn Lattimore the benefit of the doubt, given the type of player that he is. I just like the type of confidence that he plays with. Like, he's a no nonsense type of player. Like, and I love that. I call him Hood Ninja Marshawn. Like, he gonna go smack at your best, and yeah, he gonna keep popping his shit, and he not taking no bullshit out there on the field. So I say give him the benefit of the doubt and give him an off season to get healed. He need to get massages. He need to get chirotherapy. He need to get cupping. He need to do it all. He need to find a masseuse, not the ones that Deshaun Watson was calling, but somebody else. Take a take from my man John. Shout out Ball and Burgundy podcast. That's something John would say. Shout out John when he said the dude had the plexico burns.
Shot himself in the foot.
Yeah. Wow, boy, my man John from Ball and Burgundy podcast. But yeah, I give him like I said, I give him the benefit of the doubt to, get himself together. Once he gets himself together, give him an off season in the program, in the OTAs and things of that nature. I think he's gonna be fine. I think he'll come in next year, rejuvenated, healthy. Just like Terry said on his presser yesterday, he needs to take some time away to get his body back in order. Like, this is the long run. A lot of these guys ain't been playing this long of football before. You know what I'm saying? This around here it's 17 and done. So, you know what I'm saying? This extra 3 games is a little taxing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and next year we're gonna get everybody's best. We got an A1 schedule next year. So a lot of primetime games, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be up next year. So we can't run it. We play all the big dogs next year. All of them. So we really gonna find out what this team is about and what this organization is ready to do in the offseason and what we have. And people was talking about Jaden Daniels may hit the sophomore slump. Look what happened to CJ Stroud, this, that, the third. I don't believe it. I just feel like he's playing with a different type of confidence, a different type of ability. I just think with him, with a whole all season, with bringing in new guys, being able to work with receivers during, the off season and stuff like that, I feel like he's going to come out striking. And we could put that debate to bed about a top 5 quarterback, this, that, the third. But like I said, I give Marshawn a little bit of grace, bro.
Yeah. Respect. I love to hear it. I feel the same way. But yeah, y'all, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to Reedie and Z on all platforms. A milestone of ours, like a week and a half ago, we exceeded the 1K subscribers. So thank you for that. I think now we're probably at 1.3. So make sure y'all share this out with your fellow football fans, whether Commanders fans or not. And just stay tapped in with us. Definitely was a great season. I want to read this. I put it out there earlier. Something I wanted to read this because I want to make sure that kind of keep us motivated, man. So yeah, in all my years of being a fan, this was the absolute best. Not just being a fan, but also from a podcasting content creator perspective. The 2024-2025 Commanders team and staff gave us a lot to cheer and root for. Much respect to them. So we got to tip our hats off to them. The magical season did come to an end in a dominating win by Philly. And let's not hate on them. Let's, just let it be. And like I said earlier, last night I stood in that mist and just stood there and watched them win and watched the way it happened and watched them celebrate after and just know that we're going to be back. Be encouraged, Commanders Nation. We got the future is bright, not just from the field aspect, but just the organization as a whole. RFK is potentially in the works. This ownership is going to make sure that we basically overall we are in great hands. So don't worry, stick in there, stay tapped in with Reedie and Z. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna be here. We got a lot to talk about. Not sure what our schedule will be as far as our weekly shows, part of what days, but we'll definitely be, drop a post and give y'all some, scheduling, and we're gonna move forward. But we definitely got a lot to talk about. You got free agency, you got the draft. It's I heard Logan Paulson talk about last night the Senior Bowl coming up, and that's another thing. Reedie, this year I'm locking in on the draft shit. So I want to lock in and study it and be able to give y'all some real research, dialed in information and bring forth. So stick with us. We here and we ain't going nowhere. So like, share, subscribe at Reedie and Z on all platforms. Tap in with our sponsors, the Pie Guy at THEPIEGYE on Instagram. The best sweet potato pie I've had, and it's better than grandma's. Tap in with KB3 Events at Saray's Catering, and also great clothing line. Be great today, all day, every day. We do custom gear. We have our merch as well, but we do a lot of work for organizations, a lot of work for schools, a lot of work for teams and stuff like that. So, the off season here, if y'all got some ideas y'all want for y'all custom jackets, we're doing that as well. If you would like to donate to Reedie and Z, we are $ Reedie and Z on Cash App. We also have the link in our bio, the link tree in our Instagram bio. So yeah, we here, two guys, two diehard fans locked in on this team, love this team, and love what we do and bring forth for y'all. So stay tapped in with us, and if Reedie don't have nothing else to say, we are out.